Yo, welcome to Knicks versus. I'm your man, Uncle Freezy. We back, baby. Welcome to Knicks versus. You already know what it is. Knicks versus is that joint that we take topics from around the Knicks universe and bust you over the head with it. What we're going to do is talk about a couple topics, right? Just real quick, just a couple topics, 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4. I'm joined by my man Woodshed, and we got Free Keith and the ghetto intellect around here somewhere. I'm sure they're gonna jump in if things get crazy. You know what I'm saying? But Wood, how you doing, man?
I'm blessed, man. Blessed to be here. Glad to join the screen with these Blorange legends.
Legends, bro.
Yeah,
legends. Go to the game. Go to the game. So I'm gonna just get right to it, man. You know what I'm saying? Just for the so that Knicks fans understand where we coming from, right? I'm gonna get straight down to what people down south call the nitty gritty, right? Wood, I'm gonna ask you this, and this is one of the things that has been bothering some Knicks fans, bro. Is CAA taking over the Knicks again?
Yes, absolutely taking over the Knicks again. Absolutely taking over the Knicks again. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. If you outside and the sun is beaming down on you, the only thing that can save you of nature is clouds. So the Knicks needed a cloud. Dolan was beaming down, firing coaches every 2 years. We needed somebody to come in and stabilize and right the ship, hire the right coach. Cloud us from the sun rays that have been burning the Knicks for the last 20 years. So yeah, CAA is gonna take over. And we got connections. We got the right connections this time. We got connections to top players, top agents, and I think it's gonna pay off for the Knicks.
Well, is that a bad thing though? Is it? What about clients from Clutch Sports? Does that not we may not have the relationships with the clients of Clutch Sports? You know, how does that impact the Knicks?
It is a bad thing if everybody's not on the same page, but we are. The coach, the president, the GM, the assistants, the dude selling coke, we all on the same page. So the bottom line is whether Clutch has beef with CAA or not, when they come in and see the environment, you can't help but love that. Because as an agent, you got to put your client in an environment where they can succeed. And the Knicks are providing that right now. So yeah, it's a bad thing if everybody on the same page, but we are. Everybody's on the same page, one accord.
Right. Right. Well, I have this sneaking suspicion though that it sounds good on the surface, but when it comes down to clients and money and team building, if you're not CAA and Kentucky connected, you may not be a fit for the Knicks. And is that something that may disrupt or rock the boat when it comes to rebuilding this team into a championship contender?
Rock the boat, I don't see that. It may be a lightning strike here and there, but you have a loud voice in the room that carries some weight. That's Tom Thibodeau. He holding the keys, baby. If Leon Rose don't keep that job, it's different now. The checks are being cut to you. So his performance and his success is what makes sure you're going to be with the Knicks for a while. You know, we know Dolan don't play around. The Dolan timeline has been about 28 months. You know what I'm saying? And Thibodeau jumped ahead of the curve. So with that coach being proven to do it in New York already, that's a lot enough voice, man, that can drown out, the favors. Like, I don't see any Chris Smiths happening here. I don't see that.
That's what I'm nervous about. Chris Smith makes me nervous.
Not with this coach.
Okay.
No, not with this guy.
Since you brought up Thibs, how long is Thibs going to be around?
I think we'll watch Thibodeau coach the Knicks for the next, I'll say 6 seasons. And this goes back to what I said about culture. If you look,
he only got 4 years left on his deal.
That's what I'm saying. But let me finish. If you look, the culture is so strong, the replacement's already on the bench, Freezy. He's already here. Johnny Bryant is already here. So when Leon Rose took that job and hired Thibodeau, he was ahead of the game. He didn't hire just a coach to coach the Knicks for the next few seasons. He hired a coach and told Thibodeau, Hire somebody that you feel like can take your place when you're
What
done.
if
He
I
did
can,
it.
if I can,
What is Thibs leaving for? Why is Thibs leaving?
Retirement. I think he gonna get us a championship, Keith. We're gonna go out on top.
What?
I'm gonna tell y'all this.
Tibbs.
I'm
I'm sorry, G.I. Come on, G.I.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all keep sitting there thinking Johnny Bryant going to just sit next to the Thibs.
And wait for 6 seasons.
Nets hot smoking job that's going to pay him $5 million a year because it's evident that he done helped turn the Knicks around.
Let me ask you this: is there a salary cap on coaches?
No, there is no
It ain't no
salary cap
on coaches. So let me say this: if we want to,
Oh no! It'll come if it come down to it. Don't let them pay that bread. Don't let them pay the bread, especially if we winning. Especially if we winning. But like, I feel like why is Thibs leaving? What is causing Thibs to leave? Why is Thibs leaving?
Tibbs. So for the record, Tom Thibodeau is the reigning 2020-2021 NBA Coach of the Year. Right? So just to talk about Tibbs leaving already, it puts us in this weird space of the henny penny, the sky is falling. You know what I'm saying, in terms of the coaching staff, right? But my question is not, can Tibbs coach, or can Tibbs be in a place for a long time? My thing with Thibodeau is he burns out, he flames out, right?
He flames who out? Like this is all conjecture. Like, who is he flamed out?
Good point.
Who
so
is
here's
he
the thing,
out?
though.
He flamed out soft ass Carl Anthony Towns. That's who he flamed out. Because all the cats that people talk about, like who he worked to the ground, swear by Thibs. D-Rose
So here's the thing.
swears by Thibs.
It's
Jimmy
extremely
Buckets
rare.
swears by Thibs.
They love him, but it's extremely rare for a coach to remain in the place for 10 plus years. That's why I say, after this season, I can see him being here for another 6 years. That don't mean he's gonna get fired. He may get an offer to be the president. We don't know. But if you asking me today, how long do I expect him to be the Knicks coach? After this year, I'm saying 6 more seasons.
8 years total.
10 years.
I'm saying 8 total years. Yeah.
I see it definitely a 8 to 10 year run. And the reason I say that is I feel like this season right here was on the back of coaching on the fly. There was no real off season. There was no camp for real. Like, these cats ain't get to know each other and know Thibs' system before coming into even preseason games. This was all in season. Like, these cats came together in season under Thibs. That's rare. That's a rarity. Like, to me, I feel like cats aren't looking at that. Like, with no real off season, Thibs got these guys to the fourth seed of the playoffs.
Right.
I feel like this might be, we might have our star coach. This might be the guy. Like, I want to squeeze like two, maybe 3 chips out of Thibs.
My goal for Thibodeau is to, within the next 5 seasons, win the Knicks a championship. Now, this is what I will say about Thibs, and I tell people all the time: the Knicks did have a superstar this year. His name wasn't Julius Randle.
It was Tom Thibodeau.
Now,
what?
He was the superstar.
He was the star pickup, bro. Like, and I'm the biggest Julius Randle fan. And honestly, I think Thibs had very minimal to do with who Randle came back as. Because from preseason game number 1, we saw new Randle. That's 9 months of work, no team, nothing. So, like, I don't give Thibs the responsibility for that. But, like, this season, Thibs was the star pickup for our last offseason. He was the star pickup. Period.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I want to hit Woodshed with two more, but before we wrap, right? So Wood, I have this sneaking suspicion that this year's draft is gonna have 4 to 5 guys picked after 15 that are gonna be very high impact, high level players. And one of those players is Sharif Cooper, who, in my opinion, reminds me of Tony Parker. Right? At 19. Sharif Cooper at 19 and Tony Parker at 19 reminded me of each other. Now, Sharif Cooper only played 13, 14, 15 games in college, whatever the number is. But his game going to the basket is crazy. You can't stop him going to the basket. And he draws fouls at a high rate like Tony Parker did. Right now, and like Tony Parker, he's small and diminutive. And like Tony Parker at age 19, neither kid can shoot. Right? Does Sharif Cooper remind you of Tony Parker? What would happen if the Knicks get their version of Tony Parker, and how will that impact the Knicks going forward?
I'm gonna give you a defiant no. He ain't Tony Parker. He ain't Tony Parker. You can't be Tony Parker when you the second coming to Kenny Anderson. Sharif Cooper is Kenny Anderson with the right hand. And if you put a point guard like that in the Knicks system, a gravitational
Mr. Thibs.
It helps everybody around you. Just the fact that when he drives to the basket, we gotta cover him. When he gets in the pick and roll, we gotta hit, we gotta ice. Defenses have to gravitate to stop this kid. The same way you saw Kenny early on. Kenny didn't have a great jump shot, but he made it work. You don't have to have a 3-point shot to be a 3-level scorer. My thing is if you can score in the mid-range, you can score at the cup, and you can score from the line. But look at our coach. We won with that style. We won with that style.
But that style isn't generally winning in the NBA now, though. Like if you're not hitting that three, if you don't got wings and guards that's hitting that three, life is gonna be difficult in today's NBA.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. Where did Chris Paul and Chris Middleton make their butter? Two dudes that were big in the finals.
In the mid-range.
Was it in the mid-range?
In the mid-range.
It was in the mid-range. It ain't dead. If you look at Chris Middleton killed the Phoenix Suns from the mid-range. Chris Paul was killing the Bucks from the mid-range. And that's because everybody is expecting the defense to have to defend all the way out to the three-point line. That's great. But when you have a mid-range, if you put a mid-range assassin on this team, which is why Derrick Rose was so effective, by the way, hitting the mid-range jumper, free throw line floater. If we had a mid-range assassin, that opens the floor too, because you got Randall, RJ, Bullock, even Rose shot 40-some% from three. If you put 3 shooters on the floor and a mid-range assassin in between, that's a problem.
Right.
And that's what we're missing in the playoffs. It was defend the 3-point line, drop back and ring.
And a vertical lob threat. And a vertical lob threat.
Yeah.
When you bring Mitch back healthy with Sharif Cooper, I think you have something there.
That's a problem. That's a problem. And if you put shooters out there with them too, that's a problem. Because what you gonna cover first? You can't ignore Cooper. You can't ignore Robinson. You can't ignore Barry. You can't ignore Randall. Pick your poison.
So just for the record, you don't think he's Tony Parker. You think he's Mr. Thibs. You think he is Kenny Anderson.
I think he's Kenny Anderson. Because, man, look, man, born in Newark, I know he wasn't raised in Newark, but born in Newark, that alone, man, that blood pumping to him is survival, bro. Listen,
somewhere a dude named Ghetto Intellect is happy.
Look, man, drop him off in a third world country right now. Come with no food, no clothes, no shoes. Come back in 3 months, and he gonna have his own business. Come on, man.
This is being recorded. So when you real and you really know people, you don't talk about their life. You allow them to talk about themselves. So I'm gonna say this. All I could tell you is Sharif Cooper's pop, Omar, is a real one. And salute to you, Omar. I'm proud of you. Congrats to all your success and to your family's success. And may, Allah continue to bless.
Right, no
So how
doubt.
can you
No
not
doubt.
want that? The dude has the DNA of a New York City point guard.
Right.
Has the game to get other players involved. How do you average 20 points without an outside jump shot?
Right.
8 assists
But
as
see,
the
but this
only
is
playmaker.
those
In
numbers though.
college.
Those numbers, like, and I dig it. I'm not saying that they were easy. They're easy to attain, but like, I find it difficult to like really kind of take college stats seriously when I'm trying to translate it to the NBA. Like, am I getting that same exact Sharif Cooper? Like, is he going to be able to do that against like even bigger guys? Is he going to be able to like still be like his effect? Will it be the same with these big bodies in the NBA? Like, is he going to be able to get his game off? Those are the things that concern me. And with no, and also, and then with no real like shot from range, all right, cool. He could develop that, but then we putting ourselves in another situation like, oh, do we roll the dice on I don't know. Like, I'm not mad at the kid. I need to see him in the NBA before I kind of like, I gotta see some of that. I gotta see some of that stuff translate.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm glad you said that, right? Because Davidson had a small point guard. He was about like 157, 158. You know what I'm saying? Cats are saying, oh, he 170. When I saw the kid, the medium-sized jersey they gave him was hanging off of him like a raincoat, bro. The dude name was Steph Curry, right?
I know
like,
who you're talking about.
How was a dude 155 pounds gonna come to the NBA and do the same things he did in the pros, right? But here's the thing I got for Wood. Destiny tells us that if Sharif Cooper is going to be a great NBA player, he is going to be out of the Knicks range. So what did the Knicks pick? 19? So Destiny tells me if Sharif Cooper is going to be a great NBA player, he's going to go 18 to somebody. Because Steph Curry went the pick before us. Trae Young was just out of range. Colin Sexton was just out of range for us, right? So how do we? Let me phrase it. Let me phrase it in a way. In a way.
Take, Freezy. This is a great take.
And here's the thing. So why has Destiny eluded us over the years when it comes to great players?
It eludes you because of your past sins. You know what I mean? They call it.
So the son is being punished for the sin of the father.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
Of the father.
In the country, they call them generational curses. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we go back to the 87, 88 team, and this is why I laugh when people talk about this age of basketball. That team with Patino bombing threes, the Knicks Ben did that. Mark Jackson, Rod Strickland, we Ben did it. We did that.
Gerald Wilkins, Johnny Newman, yes.
We did that. Undersized backcourt bombing from downtown. The Knicks were ahead of their time. Even Hubie Brown was ahead of his time. But you had two New York City point guards, Mark Jackson and Rod Strickland, and you end up with neither.
Right.
You had a Hall of Fame big man in place in an era of basketball where the pick and roll was taking off and Stockton and Malone was winning 50 games, 60 games a year running pick and roll. You had two New York City point guards, and you end up with neither one over the long term. So we got to right the wrongs. So if the Knicks Cooper can be that guy, which I think and this kind of goes back to what Keith was saying about seeing it translate. Keith, this is what I think it'll translate. We don't need him to be the savior. We don't need the kid to be the savior. In years past, they'll be joining the Knicks team that won 25 games. No big man in the post, no shooters. Sharif Cooper will be joining a team that has shooters in place. You got an all-star big in place. You got a lob threat that can play above the rim in place. You got a Wayne Allen and RJ Barrett that can get a bucket in place. So the kid has one job: get people involved and draw fouls at the cup. That's it.
But Wood, what you missing is I think we danced around the point here. My point is destiny. See, I'll give you an example. In 1983, and I know people are like, oh, here you go. Here you go.
It's up, Frat.
But
set him up for this, by the way.
But right, yeah, I can't help it, man. So I can't help it, bro. Right. So in '83, the Knicks took a guy named Darryl Walker and with their pick, right?
Yeah, I know, Coach.
Guess who was the pick before? Guess who was the pick before Darryl Walker? A point guard out of Illinois named Derek Harper. Right?
Derek Harper.
Right. And so the Knicks are flustered. They're like, golly, man, they took the guy we wanted, Derek Harper. And then by being punch drunk in the moment, because the Knicks got punched in the mouth by Derek Harper going, guess who they passed on and wound up going 2 picks later? Clyde Drexler.
Clyde Drexler.
So what I'm saying is our destiny always puts us in this weird spot where we're just out of reach for one and make a mistake by passing on another. That's what we do at the NBA draft, and the NBA draft is tomorrow night, right? And another generation of Knicks fans and NBA fans will get to see whether the Knicks are going to be punished. See if the son is going to be punished for the sins of the father, right? Yet again, because Minnesota picked in front of us twice, and they didn't. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. What I was going to say, Freaky?
No. It's been 20 years and mad administrations.
Right. But here we are. Yet here we are. Minnesota had 2 picks ahead of us. They took Johnny Flynn and what's the other kid?
Oh, they took Rubio. They took 2 point guards.
Yeah. They took Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio. And destiny was like, here we go, Knicks. The guy's right here in front of you. Trade up one spot. The Knicks like.
Let me say this real quick.
I think he'll
real quick, Freezy. Real quick. The reason I feel positive about it is, if you look at what they're broadcasting, they broadcasting interest in every prospect but Cooper. Right. But guess what franchise was up front and up close during his workout? The Knicks. Right. So if you want Sharif Cooper, yeah, I'm gonna talk about Duarte. I'm gonna talk about Trey Murphy. I'm gonna talk about Miles McBride. But the fact that there's not a lot of smoke and not a lot of noise around him leaves me open to where it could be a possibility. Because if the Knicks are making it, we like Sharif Cooper, like what's gonna happen.
Right.
The Dallas Mavericks trade up to pick. Is somebody gonna trade up? The Houston Rockets trade in to the first round and pick 18 and take Sharif. You know what's gonna happen. You can't broadcast it. Leon Rose, you don't hear nothing.
Right.
You don't hear nothing. Everything you hear is a rumor.
Right. No doubt. So what you're telling me is that they're aware that the franchise is being punished for the sins of the father. And so in order to combat that, what they'll do is try to become their own man.
Not make the same mistakes.
Right.
Not make the same mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew that we wanted Steph Curry. Everybody. Damn, Tony talking about Steph Curry.
Right.
Management talking about Steph Curry. Dudes on the roster talking about Steph Curry. Don't make it obvious.
Right.
Don't make it obvious.
Right. I got you.
You know?
I got you. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Thank you, everybody, for watching Knicks Versus. Thank you to our guy, Woodshed1914. Excellent at this. Excellent at this. So more Knicks Versus to come. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, comment in the comment section below, and show your support for Woodshed and for Blorange Tears. Thank y'all for watching. We'll holla. Peace.